Should you rent a home or buy one? It's one of the oldest debates in real estate, and in 2025, the answer is more complicated than ever because homes are getting more and more expensive in Indian cities. Let me break it down for you. This is Quick Take, your quick guide. I'm Smita Prakash. Let's look at numbers. In Mumbai, you have to pay rent for almost 478 months to afford a home. That's almost 40 years. In Hyderabad, it's 472 months. In Coimbatore, nearly 498 months. In NCR, 449 months. Clearly, location makes all the difference. But what do these numbers really tell us? They show us that the average Indian simply cannot afford to buy a home easily. India's per capita income is around rupees 2 lakh a year. Of course, this varies depending on the job you have and the city you live in. But even then, how do you pay for houses worth 60 lakh rupees or 80 lakh rupees or even a crore? That is why so many young Indians, especially Gen Z, are stuck renting. It's not that they don't want to buy, it's that affordability is a huge barrier. Now let's talk about sentiment. Because buying a home is not just about money. Our parents' generation valued home ownership deeply. A house was a protection. A house was stability. It was the ultimate life goal. They bought homes in their 30s, some even earlier. For them, renting was temporary. But today, young professionals in cities like Mumbai, Delhi or Hyderabad don't have that luxury. EMIs are sky high. Down payments require years of savings and jobs are less stable, with many moving to cities for work. That is why influencers often say, don't buy, just rent and invest the rest. But they often miss the point of the sentiments attached to a home. When renting makes more sense in the current metro context, renting tends to be a better choice if one or more of the following holds true. Short to medium stay. If you expect to live there for less than say 7 to 10 years or less depending on the city, you may not recoup the transaction and borrowing costs by capital gains or equity build-up. Capital is limited. If you can't afford a large down payment comfortably or if interest rates are high, making EMIs very burdensome. You want flexibility. Your job might relocate you or you want flexibility to shift neighborhoods, which renting allows because it's more fluid. Better alternative investments. If you expect higher returns from other investment options like equities, businesses, etc., then rather than locking your money in real estate in a low yield market, go for renting. Uncertain about local markets or property risks? If you're unsure about how well the area will develop or uncertain about developer quality, selling costs or property liquidity, then rent. When buying might be smarter bet, buying becomes more favorable in these scenarios. 1. If you intend to stay long, the longer your holding period, the better the chances of appreciation. 2. You find a location with strong appreciation potential, like in metro suburbs or upcoming corridors where infrastructure is comparatively good, like say metros and highways nearby. You can afford down payment and EMI comfortably without stretching your finances too much. Or you want asset ownership, stability, freedom to modify. Owning gives psychological security, ability to customize, and avoidance of rent increases or landlord constraints. 5. You can capture tax advantages. As an owner, you can avail of deductions on interest and principal to the extent permitted by law, which improves effective costs. 6. Better price to rent ratio. If the price to annual rent ratio is more favorable, that is, buying doesn't feel extremely expensive rather than renting. More than just numbers. A house is not just an investment, it's a security, it's an emotional anchoring, it's a place of your own where no landlord can ask you to vacate. Yet, renting gives freedom and flexibility. You can change homes with ease. But every rent check is money gone forever. No equity, no asset. So what should you do in 2025? The final choice. If you're in your 20s, mobile and still building your career, renting makes more sense. But if you are settled, earning steadily, and ready for stability, buying may be a better choice. The truth is, there is no one size fits all. The numbers show affordability, but the heart decides what a home means to you. In the end, it comes down to freedom versus security, mobility versus roots, and only you can decide which matters more.